certified organizer, but yet I have the experience that qualifies me more than to do it. Plus, I've been in business for 7 years, so that I know a little something, something. I live over on the East Coast in North Carolina. We've been here 20 years, and it's still not home.
Where would home be for you, Dot?
I don't know, because I'm not going back to Virginia, so
Okay.
I'm kind of putting X's on the map of the U.S. and kind of seeing where I'm going, because things have really changed the last 4 years. I would have never traveled by myself, and
I remember talking to you about that.
Yeah, that Bali thing, that just totally opened my eyes, and it's just like, why the hell can't you travel? You're a big girl.
Right.
And I went out to LA in February, so I've broke the cherry on flying, and I did it. So
I saw that. I was so proud of you.
I'm 50 going on 21, so
oh, that's new life.
Yeah, I can do what I want to do.
Like, I'm grown, damn it. I'm a grown ass woman.
He may be going to therapy to kind of deal with it all, but yeah, life is fun.
Cool. Yay. Welcome to the lab again.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Hello, ladies. I know Amy. I wrote a book a couple years ago, and that's kind of what started me in this business lane again. That was more of a passion project than it was a business project. And then I thought, like, hey, if you're writing a book and people are interested, you can make a little money. So let's see how this goes. So it's morphed into like several things since then. I think I mentioned a little bit about it in the strategy lab. Like,
and all my questions.
From just pushing the books to, like, I had some T-shirts to go along with the books and all this kind of stuff. And then it kind of moved into coaching. So I was in the coaching realm, like not a certified coach, but still a coach nonetheless from my experience. And now it's kind of a mesh between like coaching and like course creation. So that's kind of the space I'm in right now.
Okay.
I'm a mommy. I have 2 kids. I don't know if you saw me talking to them. I have an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. So they'll probably be in and out of the Zoom call as well.
We do kids around here. Amy, I think I saw Autumn just for a quick sec. And then Jen, when she's here, we have Aurora. Okay, Mari, tell us who you be. So, okay, before Mari starts, I want you all to know that she is my inspiration for the hashtag SGWCT shit. Okay, now you can go. I might have to start paying her for using it.
Especially since I haven't exactly totally put her out there yet, but okay.
Right.
Okay, that lovely hashtag is because, yeah, that lovely okay, my internet is unstable, so hopefully I won't get lost.
You're still here.
That hashtag is because I am a simple girl. I am a simple girl with complicated thoughts, and it's time for me to get out of my head and into my heart and trust what I find. And this is Simple Girl right here. Okay.
Love it.
And yes. And I think technically we're all simple girls with complicated thoughts. It really is about getting out of your head, into your heart, into your body, and trusting what you find, trusting what your body tells you, you know, and your body, you can look at it as your soul, your intuition, whatever. But I have a lot of different, I have a big bag of tricks to work with. And I actually did a reading for Amy over the weekend for human design.
She did. It was so spot on.
Yeah. We did a very basic reading because human design, you know, as Amy knows, I have issues with the way human design sometimes puts stuff out there because they make it seem so complicated and abstract, and, you know, your brain goes. But we just did a very basic reading so she can start the process of understanding what it means to be in your body. But that's only one aspect of the things I have. I'm technically a certified creativity coach. It's called Creatively Fit, the program I did. And I have, KeeKee knows. She was one of my guinea pigs. I also have a quiz that tells you your spiritual energetic gifts,
Yes.
and I create what I call a personal cosmos based on that quiz, which is pretty much a visual reminder of who you are. And basically, it uses the energy of your chakras. And I will show you KeeKee's.
Oh, I was hoping you
because
did
that's the
because
one
I was
physically
getting
I
ready.
Yes. I haven't sent it to her yet. We did this actually a couple of years ago when I was using guinea pigs, and we were on a phone call together. And as soon as I said I was going to start playing with this, she said, "Oh, can I be your first person?" So here is KeeKee.
Oh, I love that.
Every time I see it, it's just like, oh, I see something new. It's crazy.
I basically create mandalas. They're one of my passion projects. So this was created using alcohol inks, and then I play with it in a program, and I come up with 2 that I think reflect her, and then send it off to her to take her choice. And of course, she chose the one that was my first choice, and there she is. She's very strong. She's very strong in her 6th chakra, which is why there's a lot of blue and dark blue. The dark blue is her 6th chakra. The lighter blue is the 5th chakra. But you know, she's very powerful. There's the yellow for her 3rd chakra. The pink is actually the 11th chakra. I've learned a chakra system that goes beyond the 7 chakras that are in body. I've learned the system that goes out of the body as well. And she's got her green is her heart chakra. Now, if I remember correctly, though, I don't think your heart chakra was one of the strongest chakras, but it pretty much infuses everything you do.
Yeah.
Your chakra doesn't need to be strong to actually influence your life. You know?
Right.
I'm not a believer in because the chakra is weak doesn't mean you don't use it.
Right.
And you're not broken.
No, I'm not broken, and I don't need to be fixed.
No, that's
Amen.
no. So, but that's so a big underlying thing for me really is tapping into creativity in order to tap into your intuition flow. Again, I've got all these little crazy things that kind of tie in, as Amy can attest, and KeeKee can attest. So
I got a question for you that I'm going to use,
and it's all under her. Okay. I guess I have to wait.
Well, yeah, no, I'm going to wait until we're like literally in session. I'm sorry. It just came up. You know how my mind goes. You said something and I had to write it down.
Okay.
Mari, did you go through is there an official program or that you went through to learn about the creativity and all the chakras and how that's connected, or is it something that you created your own program?
Well, I've been studying subtle energy since 2013, and my main teacher for that, I've gone through her apprenticeship program twice, is Cindy Dale. The creativity has always been sort of another passion project of mine, and I am highly creative, sometimes to the degree where it drives me crazy. But creativity, tapping into my own creativity has saved me many times. So I did end up taking that Creatively Fit program because she had a painting technique I wanted to learn. And I did, so I took it and learned the technique, and it's intuitive painting in a way. And I've also have learned a number of different ways to do intuitive painting. It's not just necessarily painting on a canvas. There's also a way to tap into your intuition using your non-dominant hand and a pencil and a piece of paper, and then interpreting what comes up. I am also certified by Colette Baron Reed in her Oracle card reading program.
Okay.
I was one of her betas way back when and went through the whole process. But I've got, you name it, I've done it. I've done hand analysis. I've been studying human design since 2013, around the same time as I started studying the subtle energy stuff. So, you know, and the to me, the fascinating thing is that all of these different modalities pretty much say the same thing in different ways.
Exactly. That's what
And
I'm discovering, and
part
it's
of
just
where, yeah, yeah. And
I just want to
part
ask
of where I'm
Mari,
going,
like,
I mean, it's true. Amy and I had, go ahead.
sorry, I just want to say, Mari said she did a basic reading of me, but
No,
when
she
you look
lying.
at it, it's not basic. I just want to share the screen for a second. Like, just what is, that's what she says. That's what she did for
Oh,
me.
Right.
Not basic. Sorry, I just had to share that for a second.
that's
Basic.
priceless.
So what is she, Mari? What are you, Amy?
I am a
she's a
generator.
Okay.
generator
Oh,
and a
I was
5-1
calling.
on her profile line. Her and I are both 5-1s, which make us heretical investigators.
You ain't here? I'm sorry, y'all.
Heresy,
Hold
baby, heresy.
We are heretical. I am a heretical investigator, KeeKee.
up. Ooh, I'm a manifesting generator.
Ah, I'm not
Generator.
surprised.
No,
I'm
I
not
know.
surprised. Mm-mm.
Yes, I'm a manifesting generator too.
Mhm.
I don't remember what your line is though, your profile line.
I don't remember either.
I know, yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
but the interesting thing about human design though, in terms of some of the other modalities out there, is that it supposedly is a combination of the chakra system, astrology, the tree of life, and Kabbalah. Now, Kabbalah is not something I'm ever going to touch, but that's neither here nor there.
I like
But
the fact that
as
it
I
involves
discovered
the
with
tree of
Amy's
life.
reading, yeah. But the thing that with Amy's reading, I did just a side thing before we went live. The personality side in human design, I mean, she put the chart up and down, but there's a personality and then there's the design. And the personality line actually lines up with your astrology chart.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
so it lines up. The thing so, you know, and I thought, oh, that is interesting, okay, because I'm kind of on a separate quest to figure out the biology of art and the somotics of nature. So which is kind of heavy duty stuff. So it's only right now I'm just collecting stuff. But the one thing that the astrology chart doesn't have that the human design chart has is what they call Earth, which is that plus sign under the sun sign. Yeah, right there. So they call that Earth in human design. But anyway.
Very cool. Thank
So
you.
there you go.
Yeah.
I think I've yattered enough.
And Amy, everyone seems to know you.
Yeah, everyone knows me. I'm Amy.
Well, didn't you luck out today?
I know.
Okay. So what I wanted to talk about is I'm kind of flowing, however, I'm not. Like I listened to you while you were introducing yourselves and talking. So I have something I want to share with Mari. And then Amy, I know that you had asked me a couple weeks ago, and I know that whether we were meeting, so I just assume that you have something that you're prepared for today. Don't you?
I think I do. I did back then, but now I'm like, do I still have it? Okay, yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay, I have questions anyway. I'm going to guide you.
Okay.
So Mari, what I was thinking about is, did we talk about creativity programs for you? I feel like we did.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to focus on any programs.
Gotcha.
The way that I've been approaching the creativity aspect is more as a technique to help people tap into their intuition so that they understand how easy it is to tap into their intuition.
Okay, so if we're not calling it programs, what are we calling it?
I don't know. I didn't really come up with a name for that basic one-on-one, you know, you've got an issue, well, let's tap into your intuition.
Right.
Through creativity.
Okay, so only reason I'm asking is this is what came up for me when you were talking about it. So you know how you know how I've been working more with my intuition, and I've been reading more into my empathic side. And so
Yes, I saw the Judy Dreyer book you had. Yes.
yeah, it was kind of basic, but still there were still things that I didn't necessarily know. So when you talk about like the intuition and the more creativity, what I'm finding with myself is that, and this I'm saying this because I know that I'm like helping you help your other people, because I feel like I could be one of your
That's fine.
ideals.
That's fine.
Okay. So what I find with myself is that the only time okay, maybe I'm lying. Like, Spirit is telling me that I'm lying. I'll figure that out in a minute. So it just gave me 3 other examples. Like, you are about to tell a lie. Okay. So, but I'm going to start though. What I've been finding is that I don't feel like I'm tapping into my creativity other than in my business. So, like I was up at 2:00 this morning.
Oh.
And I knew that it's like, but it's been a thing here lately. There's a lot of stuff going on with my roommates. There is a lot of stuff going on in my house with my roommates. So it's just like being overwhelmed with emotions, and they're not mine. So I'm sure the wake ups have to do with just restlessness in my spirit, right? I know this. However, I have to do something with it, because if I lay down, I've had like if I lay there for too long, it literally feels like I can't breathe. So I have to get up and let like whatever's on my mind. I posted this video the other day about on my personal page where you do where there's a tacos truck with the guy, I forget what, it's like an insurance company commercial. And he's like, Dave, let's go sell some tacos. Dave, did you order them? People really like your beans, Dave. And it's like his taco truck is like talking to him when he's trying to do regular things and he's not working. I feel like that's my business right now. Like, KeeKee, did you do this? KeeKee, did you do that? So I just wake up and I do it, right? So in that though, I feel like because, okay, Shannon does passion projects all the time, and there are different passion projects. But for me, sometimes I feel like, should I be doing more passion projects, or, tapping into my creativity more? But my creativity comes within like I create my own images, my own graphics, because I love playing in Canva. That is how I escape. To me, that's not working in my business. It's literally that. Well, then maybe that is me tapping into my creativity, because I can play over there a lot. The other thing is that what I'm having is this was the other thing when I was about to tell a lie, Spirit reminded me, well, you're being really creative with the tiny house. So like, I can't wait to get to the floors, because I have this bowling ball image in my mind, and that's what the floors are going to look like. And I just can't wait to try it. But then, so exciting, right? I just can't even wait. I wouldn't even say it for the longest time, because I didn't want anyone to steal my idea. And I'm like, who cares? I mean, hell, I'm not the first one to build a tiny house, so what does it matter? So I guess my question to you is, how do you help someone, or for you to think about, is how do you help someone really to get down out of that headspace, right? And find the things that really make them like feel like they're tapping into their creativity and tapping into their intuition. Because I tap into I'm getting better at tapping into my intuition. And then the empathy is really it's like,
well, it just feels like the universe is just working on us empaths. Like, everything is overwhelming, and there's so much. Everybody's into it. Everything's just been turned upside down, and it's like people don't know what to do, and it's like they're pulling back on old stuff and not seeing what's in front of them, and
right.
Everybody's just in a funk, and it's like, can we get a bulk order of sage? And I'm not a sage person, but I'm like, I'm gonna start burning it and going live, putting it out on the waves.
Well, you see, but you need you need healthy energetic boundaries when you're an empath. I mean, I think
Right.
probably everybody on this call at the moment is an empath. And even sometimes when you have strong energetic boundaries, because I do, it doesn't matter because it depends on what's happening.
Right.
And I mean, I can get just as overwhelmed as the next person. But one of the key, I mean, there's a couple of little things I do that in some ways have nothing to do with creativity. And sometimes it's about, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of access consciousness, but one of the basic rules in access consciousness is, who does this belong to?
Right.
And if what happens when you ask that question, if you feel lighter after asking that question, then it's not yours. So you send it back to the person with love attached. Thank you for sharing, but I'm done.
I always
If you
forget to
start
ask the
to feel
question.
a little heavy, who does this belong to?
Yeah.
And if you feel a little bit heavy after you ask that question, then it's yours, but it has a lie attached to it. So the key is finding out what the lie is. And the lie is usually a result of conditioning as a child. Okay? It's kind of like shame. You know, there's a fine line between shame and guilt. Guilt is, you know, you did something bad and you need to correct it. The shame is because you did something bad, you're a bad person. And that's not true. And, you know, as children, all of us have gone through shaming up the wazoo.
Right.
You know, so, you know, and it's not ours to own half the times, or most 99.8% of the time, you know. So, you know, but that's, I mean, and sometimes like when I go to bed at night, I start getting all these like images of people who I don't even know who the fuck they are. And I just go, okay, guys, thanks for sharing. I'm done. I'm rolling over, you know? And it really is as simple as that sometimes, to just say, no, I'm done.
Not right now.
But again, if it keeps coming back, then maybe there is a little bit of an issue there that you're attached to.
Right.
And you need to let that attachment go and just carry it on its merry way. You know?
Okay, so
because energy is very malleable. Go ahead.
You should know that this is me tricking you. Because
what else is new?
Now, how are you going to use all this that you just helped me with to help the other people who are waiting with me for you to get your shit together? This is how it works in the lab, y'all. So just know you can be tricked into helping others.
One, it'll help others. I figured you out.
But no, really, I am having that problem.
Yeah, I know.
I am.
But it really is the same thing with doing Amy's reading over the weekend, you know. You know, there was a part of me that was like, oh God, I don't know if I've got everything I need. And we were laughing about it when I talked about it with her on Sunday. I said, but you know, as soon as I get into it, then I'm like on a roll, you know? So, and it goes back to you and me agreeing and everybody else who was in our little group at the time that I do need to be more verbal. I need to be out there more and do either the audio or the video.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because
have you thought about the podcast?
It's almost like once I have an audience.
Well, the audience will come.
We build it and they will come.
Yes, I know. I know. But it's like as soon as I have an audience, then I'm off and running. Well, and sometimes I'm an audience of one, meaning me. But
you got at least 4 people who I know would join you and totally tell people that.
I am thinking of resurrecting Dear Simple Girls Facebook page. It still exists. It's just not published. Just Rachel and Dot, I hate Facebook. Just
yeah, she does.
I understand that I might need to be on.
Me too. Me too. Me too. Okay, so this is what I see, Mari.
I recognize. Yes.
This is what I see. Okay, this could be
so. Amy gave it. We had another conversation, which is when she decided to book the human design thing. But she and I didn't even think about this until she said it. She said the fact that I was putting the mugs out there first and building community around everybody getting a mug and then using their mug during calls. And I hadn't even thought about that. This would be a community, you know, a way to community connect.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be so
yeah.
simple. It's so simple, and then everything grows. So I want you to think about this, and when you think of, when you consider the relaunch or the reopening of Simple Girl, Dear Simple Girl on Facebook, and think about the audio piece of it, getting your voice out there. What I see is you could do something as simple as, you see how we're on this Zoom call right now. You could literally record yourself on Zoom and just strip the audio and upload it, right? That way you don't have to worry about, you can do that for video too. So you don't have to worry about who's watching. You don't have to worry about a live. You can just get on here, and you know how to, well, like nobody will, it seems like no one should be in your Zoom, right? But I always go down to the bottom and I lock it if I'm just gonna do something by myself, so that no one just all of a sudden comes, because I've actually had it. Like, I had a client before, I don't know why, it used to tell me like, she's waiting on Zoom. Why is she waiting on Zoom? We don't have a call today. Like, what is she doing on Zoom? What the hell is she doing there? So that she wouldn't come in while I was doing some of these, private recordings, I'd lock the Zoom meeting. So you could think about that, so that it'll be really easy. And then this is, let me think. Okay, and this is what I discovered. Okay, I'm trying to think about this process. When I do the Zoom meeting, wait. Oh, that's an iMovie. Okay, nothing. But yesterday I figured out that I can take my iMovie file and instead of transferring them to YouTube, I can just use it as a file. And the file is actually transferable to Facebook, and it just plays. So I'm not sending anyone to YouTube. It actually is using Facebook as the conduit, because Facebook doesn't like it when you direct people to like a YouTube link or something that's going to take them off of YouTube or off of Facebook. So I've been using that, and I'm like loving that right now. So think about that for your Zoom, so that you can just, so when you come straight out, you can have these conversations. And like I told you before, you can answer questions. You can make up the questions. The people don't have to ask you the questions. You can make them up. You know what questions your clients have. We all do. We know the things that they talk about in their minds all the time. We know the things that stop them from moving forward. It's like, and we know how to get them past it. So you could literally host a Q&A session or a weekly Q&A where you're answering questions for your ideal client. And then they start sending in questions, which is good. However, it doesn't have to start because they sent in questions. You make up the questions.
That's how I did my lives. That's how I started. Or you feel like as an empath, you almost can hear, the questions, or what the hell does that mean? Or how are you doing that and this and that? And so you just address those things in the form of a question. And that kind of got me over the hump. And then as I say things that people think of the other things, and then I went out to a group, to my circle, and it's like, okay, if I ask you to help me, you will. So if I get a little more specific, the help is going to be better. And it's like, hey, KeeKee, give me a couple of questions that I can answer in a video that, and then it really got good. And then I started noticing a pattern, and it's like, oh my God, that's what I'm working with. My clients were the questions, and it's like, oh, now I understand that whole concept of avatar. And I didn't like the wordage and the process of eliminating people by picking a ideal client, or it's like I'm still in my desperation of I need to work with everybody because I need the money.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, but think about, and you manifest the lessons of working with the wrong client, and the stress and the aggravation and the time. And then looking down after you've spent 8 hours with this person, and you miss 4 phone calls from the person that you would you really dream of. I want this person to work with, and they're in your inbox, but you didn't get to work with them because you're over here trying to do something with somebody who wasn't willing.
Yeah, you're working with whiting when you really wanted the salmon. You got the catfish, the sea druggers, and you really wanted the salmon. you
So
know?
the questions really help zero in, and it's been a very fast process of really
Oh yeah.
getting over some of these humps that I just couldn't touch it. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the next step, chess player in me. I couldn't see my steps, and I can't risk screwing up. I can't lose another piece. I'm down to my last
Right.
few bucks, and having to realize that you can manifest before you understand what it was, because that was all blocked. And then realizing I can choose to do anything I want, and just, that that's been life changing.
Oh
And
yeah.
totally, you can see it in the business. As I get better, my business is getting better, because now I'm controlling it instead of everybody controlling me.
Yeah, because you don't want what I see most with my clients and people that are just starting out or stuck in startup is that you get overwhelmed in the to-dos, and you get so overwhelmed that you forget that you actually have a client that you are attempting to attract, and you don't even focus on that one. There is only one person that I ever talk to when I'm putting out copy. Up until a few years ago, her name was Chris. And when I finally looked at Chris, because I had a picture of her, everything. She was she was like, she had to be the worst example of an ideal client ever. And I couldn't understand why I kept attracting all these people. Well, because you're talking to Chris. Chris ain't never got no money. Chris ain't never doing what I told her. Like, she don't listen. Like, oh my God, I'm telling you, she was the worst ever. When I finally got zeroed in on who my client was, Amy's cracking up. That's why I'm so adamant when I talk to you about narrowing down who that one person is. Like, who are you talking to? And it has to go beyond their I had my first business coach. I'm going to tell you, my first business coach out the gate was a $10,000 program out the gate. So when someone tells you a startup doesn't have money, I think that's a lie, because I was a startup and I spent $10,000 for my first business coach. Now, she was really adamant about teaching about ideal client work, right? And doing the profile, but she was so superficial. It was so superficial on that level. Like, where do they live? Where do they work? Where do they shop? What kind of magazines do they have? It was nothing like, okay, what kind of person are they? Like, I want the person who, when I send them an invoice, the invoice gets paid almost immediately. And if not immediately, within a week. I don't want the person who I have to run down for an invoice. Damn it, you said yes, pay the damn invoice. You know it's coming, right? It's like you have to get focused and centered on that individual, the ones who ask questions, the ones who who can take my criticism. But it's constructive criticism. The ones who can take that and not have their feelings hurt and not get all caught up in, because you hired a business coach for a reason. So I need someone who trusts me to work with me. I need someone who can see what I see in them when they can't even see it in themselves. You need to be that focused on who that person is. When you know who that person is, that person is just not that one person. There are like 10,000 persons out there just like that who are waiting for you to just speak to them. And then the other thing about it is I talked to, I'm sure I talked to Amy and Mari about it, is I talk about stock and report. So in the stock and report method I use, it's like you go into the people, like pick 25 people in your community that you want to work with. Like, if they said yes to you, you would be the happiest person ever. They would be the best client ever. You pick those people and you start stalking their pages. You add yourself to groups that they're in. You see what they're talking about, because what they are talking about, your clients leave clues. Your clients leave clues. They're talking about the things that are missing in their lives. They're talking about the things that they want. They're talking about the things that they want to do. You can ask a question and get more information about them. Watch everything I do for you and to you. I am a working example of how I talk to my clients about how to reach out. And sometimes I know I talk to you, I'm always going to be the one to ask you. And I know I asked Rachel this the other day. Have you reached out to someone personally? Because I know that there is a negative connotation around people hitting up inboxes, but I know why it is. But then if you watch me, you know that I call that shit out too. I just did it the other day, twice in one day. I was like, whoa, KeeKee, you are, did you just call somebody a piece of shit? Yes, I did, and I meant it. I meant it. Because there are things that people are doing in inboxes that is totally unacceptable. And it goes against everything about wanting to attract clients that are returning clients, that are repeat clients, that will shout your name to everyone and above because they know that you really care. It's not just about the money for me. However, I know that I need money to run my business. I don't do a lot of stuff for free. What I do for you, what I do in the lab, this is the stuff that I just love to do. I don't think anything about it. I know that if you are a paying private client, you get way more. And that is the impression that I want to leave. Like, damn, if she gives all this stuff for free, what is it going to be like being a one-on-one? I don't know. You got to see. It's like right now we dating. You want to get married? Like, we married now. Once you my client, we married now. Right now we just dating, but we married. So think about all those things when you are talking about it. Do a stalking report. Like, pick 5. When we get off of here today, Amy and Mari, I want you to try this again. I want you to do this again too. When we get off of here today, go and 5 people in your network that you know that you would love to work with. And just be a fly on the wall in their life. See what you can glean from them. You might even find, like, I've had people on my list that I found that, you know, you are not an ideal client. Simply from the things that they post. Simply from the things that they post. One person, I've had her on my list. Amy was on my list for years. Mari has been on my list for years. I'm in here for the long game. I'm not tripping that, okay, she didn't say yes to the first offer. I will follow up and I will offer again when I see another program, when I launch another program that I think works for you. I don't give up because you said no the first time, especially if you're still in my community, and especially if I still see that you need my help. Because I'm watching. I'm not offended. I don't even get offended if you go and you work with someone else, because I believe that who is for you when they are for you. I also believe that every entrepreneur should know exactly what they need at that specific time in their business. So just because if someone came to me today and said, KeeKee, you know, you would be really good on Instagram. You know, well, okay, we'll say that they did a couple years ago. You know, you'd be really good on Instagram because you travel so much. You'd be pulling in all kind of people. You should go on Instagram. I don't want to go on Instagram. I tried it. I went over there, but it's not enough engagement. There is not enough engagement over there for me. I'm not going to try Instagram. And then when I first started out, I know that as a startup coach or someone who teaches the foundations of business and business growth and strategies, I know that I could probably go on LinkedIn as well. But I don't like it over there either. I do not fool with platforms that I don't like just because the industry says that would make sense. I do what makes sense for me. So, and I do the same thing when I'm deciding on who to coach with, who is going to help me in my business. Last year, every coach I had was all about sales. And then this year, what I figured out is, you know, I know how to sell. I really need to get better at marketing, because that was the thing that was missing for me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm stopping. If somebody come with me with the right marketing tool, I'm all in, because marketing is what I'm focused on this year. It's all about marketing. So you have to know in your business, what do I need to make my business grow right now? Not 5 years from now. What growth do you need right now? And sometimes I posted just before I came on about being premature in launching certain things. So sometimes you have to know the difference, and sometimes you just get in that shit and you don't know that you know it was wrong and it don't work out. It's a lesson learned. I
I
think
answered that post for you.
You did. You be making me try.
I just basically told you that your future, your future self interrupted your present self.
Oh,
You know, she got
right.
a little antsy, but you're exactly where you need to be right now.
Right, and at any moment, right? However, it's
I've
just
been
like
there. I've been there.
See, that was like, oh, kicking it with KeeKee is like she's taking on her own life right now. I just call her her. It's like I know that she is like outside of me doing stuff. And I'm okay with that. And she comes to me like that damn taco truck. KeeKee, KeeKee, I need you to come kick it with me. We got things to do, KeeKee. Oh, okay, I come. So, but you have to know that. You have to know that. So it doesn't matter what I tell you. I can tell you anything. I have all kinds of strategies for business growth and development. But what I want you to know is, what do you need right now? Like, what is that one thing? So I want to know, since we're here, what is that one thing that you know is missing in your business right now? Don't everybody go at once. Y'all see me get my pen. Yeah, I want to know.
For me, I feel like it's a lot. I think right now, marketing is my issue, and figuring out like what content I need to be talking to my audience about and mapping it out. So I feel like every day is like, I should be posting every day. What should I be talking about? So I think nailing down the topics I should be addressing. And I feel like I'm kind of getting a sense of it from the group that I have, and I'm asking them like what they want to hear about. And so I'm starting to kind of piece it together, but it's not fully there yet. But figuring out the content, then mapping out the marketing plan or the content plan for that.
Okay, I'm circling back to you on that once I get everybody, because I hear it. I'm waiting. Oh, y'all don't want to answer? Y'all scared?
I went first, so y'all can go.
Cause they like, oh, she coming back. Maybe. Maybe. Who next?
For me, it was it's the process. I had let too much of other people's confusion and doubts and wanting they compare me to the other organizers, and they don't understand my process because I didn't understand it, because I didn't think it was the thing. I'm very much intuitive, but I didn't understand that whole process and what the energies and all that were. So I kept moving away from exactly where I needed to go because I didn't understand it. Makes sense. So getting clear on exactly what it is I do and how I do it and why I came to it suddenly put everything, now all the other concepts make sense. I'm a very conceptual person, and it's like, well, where does that come from? Okay. Well, I don't freaking know. I just, I grew like this. I was born this way.
I woke up this way.
So taking the time to really figure out what I am, and instead of how I got here, and that just has put me in a whole different position.
Okay. I'll be back to you.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Who's next? Mari looks like she's stuck. Okay, Amy. Hold on. Give me 1 minute.
I think we already covered me, frankly.
Okay. I think we did too.
But I actually do want to make a comment on your thing about creativity, which is, of course, now making me rethink a few things too. See, my definition of creativity is not, you don't need to take pen to paper, brush to canvas, to be creative. It's how you live your life. Oh, I think she's talking on the phone. But, and I actually think KeeKee lives a very creative life.
Mm.
It's the way she speaks. It's the way she
Interesting.
presents herself,
Mhm.
and
Sorry.
you can certainly use a creativity tool to enhance that, and actually take the brush to canvas and play with it. But I think creativity is about how you live your life. So when
Yeah.
someone tells me they don't have a creative bone in their body, I sit there and say, okay, do you cook? Yeah. Are you a good cook? Pretty good. Well, that's creative. That's a creative outlet.
Right.
The fact that you have a signature, you created that signature, with your name. That's a creative
Mhm.
act. So, and every day we get up, we're creating the day. So
Right.
creativity actually is present. You just may not recognize it.
Okay, already 2 episodes of audio. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Amy. Mm-hmm. And I ain't coming back to you. That's
What?
2 episodes of audio. You didn't already. When you listen to this replay, know that you have 2 episodes of audio already. So I don't want to hear you ain't got your shit together.
I've never said that. I've never said that. You've said that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Amy will tell you otherwise.
I know you got it together, but I'm just saying I want to see it. I need proof. If ain't no pictures or no audio, it didn't happen.
Yes. This is the real kicking it with KeeKee show.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh
Amy.
man. So it's interesting. The last week or two, I've been in this I guess we'll call it heretical investigation mode of myself. And Mari actually helped to uncover a lot of that. She's laughing now. There's a part of me that is always like driven to work, but when I have a set plan in terms of not burning myself out, like working on the JV venture and pausing on a couple things just for a little moment, and I'm working on my other stuff, there's a part of me that wants to put more stuff on top of the stuff I'm already doing. And so that was like, I was like, okay, you gotta pause here.
Right.
Because the worker bee in me is like, I gotta keep going. And then when I don't, when suddenly somehow I have things together, like lately I've been feeling that, it's like, oh, but I need to be working on something else. But it's like, no, my intuition's like saying pause on the email lab. And I was like, whoa, but I worked on that. Why am I pausing? Like, no. Pause on the email lab. Like, okay, fine. So working with Mari, she was like, well, you have the worker bee in you, but then you also have the open head chakra, who is like, open to possibilities. And also open to other people's thoughts.
Yep.
But then she was like, but your my spleen. Anyways, my spleen, that apparently is the opening of my intuition, and so that part is defined. And so she said, you are a wait to respond kind of person, as in I should follow that strategy. And I was contending with what I had been taught by other business coaches is if you're not pushing.
Right.
So I was kicking myself, like, ugh. But then it's like I got that permission from Mario, like, you're the kind of person that needs to wait to respond, to see how people react, to see the data there before you like fully launch into something, as opposed to taking an idea and just running with it and then no one buys anything. So
That's me.
that's fine. It's just realizing like how I naturally work and then trying to go into my own intuition, like, okay, where am I going now? And then realizing like it's okay to have ease and flow. Right now there is ease and flow with my JV partnership right now. Like I'm like, things are going really well. I need to put more on top of this. It's like what am I doing? But one thing I was thinking about, because I know I put on my invisibility cloak again. I know that over the last week or so.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, what occurred to me was, okay, I have held off, and you talked about this. I've held off marketing to the woo-woo underdogs, people who are in the closet with their intuition, but have
Again, me.
dabbled and trying to figure out how to make it work within their business, but they're having trouble communicating all of that, so that way they're out of the closet, but they're safe at the same time. I've held off marketing. I've kept that in my own little safe playground.
So
And said, well,
you are that person you're talking to.
yes,
Mm.
I am.
Mhm.
So it's
Mm.
like, so what I have thought about when we were talking, my daughter's like, you're talking too loud. What I thought about when we were talking about ideal clients, and since I've been dipping into company culture with corporate clients too, or well, one corporate client, what if I appeal to the woo-woo underdogs on Facebook, but on LinkedIn, I appeal to the company culture people? Does that sound like a sound strategy to you?
Yes, it
Okay.
does. It does.
Okay.
You know, to me, I'm always just gonna say, okay, pick it and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
if we don't stick with it, we don't know if it works.
Yeah.
If we
Exactly.
don't, if we just give it up after maybe a week or two because maybe no one bought, then it has to catch on.
Yeah.
We have to continue to talk about it. So it can't just be one post and I'm done, like one post a
Yeah.
week, and you're thinking, well, maybe one person on your list that you would love to work with saw that post that week. But if you're posting something about it every day or every other day or at least 3 times a week, or it has to be in constant rotation.
Yeah.
So you see that I am stretching myself this week to post about kicking it with KeeKee every day, and about getting guests. This is a stretch for me. Usually I'm good at that at least 3 times a week. I've never went 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like by now I would be like, today I did 3. So tomorrow, if I don't, tomorrow I'll be like in that battle with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Or I won't.
Yeah.
So you have to just keep putting it out there.
And then also talking to Mari, and she made me realize that I'm the kind of person that when I let it out, my influence is pretty expanding.
Yeah.
But then I'm very protective over it. So I think that's also in the background of it. And Mari's just smirking right now.
Right.
So there's a part of me that's like, I know I have influence when I'm out there. I've moved a whole audience before, many times. But then there's a part of me, like, I guess, like, but I don't want to abuse the power. Like, I gotta.
But you won't abuse the power, Amy. You can't abuse the power. It's not even in your DNA.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't. You couldn't do it if you tried, because it's just not in you to be able to do that. It would take more for you to abuse it than it would just to use it. I feel like I lost her.
I'm gonna write that down. It would be. It would. It would take more
to abuse it than it would.
The problem with
than to use it.
The problem with thinking that you're going to abuse it, though, is from conditioning. It's from people telling you that power is evil.
Right. And
So
just don't believe it.
That's your own mind giving you out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I have to think about too. I sometimes can be really can come off pretty passionate. That's what we'll say about the things that I share. And I used to not share those things. Like, there would have been a time where I would never would have put a line in a post, "You're a piece of shit," period. Mm-hmm. When I know that's what I felt, I wouldn't have said it. But now, today, the way my life is set up, I don't have time to be playing. And neither do the people who I work with and want to work with. We cannot any longer decide that, oh, now is not the right time. Now is absolutely the right time. Now is the only time that we have. Right now is the only time that we have. We tomorrow is a myth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can plan for tomorrow, but what are we going to do today that's going to make a difference? That one thing that you can do today. It doesn't have to be 10 things.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing that you can do today? And it really does, at the end of the day, for all of us, it boils down to marketing if you want to make money in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, all we're doing is running expensive hobbies.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Expensive hobbies. Okay. So, Rachel, in regards to the content and mapping it out, what I'm going to say, what I heard you say was that your audience has already given you ideas.
Yes, a couple
Okay.
ideas. I got some of them from like my Facebook group, and so I have entry questions. It's like, what do you want to know most about?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I've been doing is each month I put up a poll of all those topics and have them vote on what they want to hear about, and then I kind of map out like a little mini, I don't say, I guess a mini course once a week. I know. What?
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Once a week, I talk about those things. So that's kind of how I've been getting some of the ideas of what they want to know about.
Okay, so I want you to stop putting up that poll.
Okay.
Because you already have the content. What you need to do is decide, like, okay, if you have 10 pieces of content, like ideas, that means you have 10 months of content. That means one idea. Okay, so I used to do this. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm gonna do it. So you have one piece of content. Give me a topic.
Like this month is love languages.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good. Okay, good that you started with that. So there are 5 love languages, right? However, usually in a month, there are only 4 weeks, right? You see this? Love languages. Subtopics. One love language is touch.
Yeah.
That's 1 week of content. One language is wait, don't tell. That touch is mine. Can you tell? Gifts of service, right?
Service. Words of affirmation.
Yeah. Okay. So you see where I'm going with this? All we did was love languages.
Right.
Okay, but you have 4 weeks of content in 1 month just on love languages. That's how you map out your content.
So that's the piece for my group. But then outside of my group, how do I create content that's like I'm bringing them into the group?
Okay, so you only got one thing you could talk about on touch?
No, I'm just wondering how to map. That's my issue, like mapping it out. What that looks like. Well, I'm not putting it all here. Then it's like, what do I get in the group? She's talking about all this right now. So
how about using your questions to find the people that are interested in love languages? Like, have you ever had somebody do something really nice for you and there was a problem because you appreciated it, but yet it wasn't love. It wasn't what you, they intended to blow your socks off and you were just like, oh, that's nice. Well, then, come to the group because we're discussing that this week or whatever.
Okay.
Simple.
Thank you.
Simple, just like that. But and you just talk about that. You talk about that in the group. So like maybe you give little tips about how to share your love language, right? You ask questions around love language because then you get it outside of your group too. So then you do this every month. So today, what you can do in maybe 30 minutes is take where are we? 3. I can count. 2, 4, 3, 7. We got 7 more months. Well, if you count 8 more months.
Yeah.
So 8 topics. Put them on a piece of paper and map it out for the rest of the year. And then you stick with that. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You know that, okay, it's May. I'm talking about love languages. Okay, this week I'm talking about touch. Next week I'm talking about this. So you do your content around that.
Mm-hmm.
The same
Okay.
thing next month. So then it's just that easy to map it out.
Okay.
You could actually, do you do lives?
In my group, not on my page, but I do some in my group.
Why don't you do them on your page?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess a little bit of shyness for me to do it. Like I know that group is much larger than my Facebook group. I have like 500 friends, but I have like 80 something group members. So for me, it's more. I feel more comfortable.
Okay.
So it's a shyness in it.
Okay, so this is another thing that you can do. I'm not even going to press into that. I'm really not one of those coaches who's going to tell you to do things that you don't feel comfortable doing. That just doesn't make sense to me. I would tell you to stretch yourself if you can. If not, when you're ready, you do. But in the meantime, what do you do? Do you download your lives that you do in your group?
Yeah, and I plan on using to create the courses. I'm going to add more videos to them, but I use those as well. So I do download.
Okay. I remember you told me you had a list, right?
A list of
an email list?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so do you share your lives with your email list?
No, I invite them to the group for the lives, but are you suggesting I send them the videos as well?
You can, at least one, maybe once a week, one of your videos from the week, or one of the ones from once a month, so that that can show, okay, so this is what we talked about in my group this week. Here is a lot, here is a portion of, you can even summarize it. You don't even have to give them the whole thing. You can, or you can't, that's up to you. And then you invite them to join the group. Like, you want more of this, join me in the group.
Okay.
So I'm assuming your goal is to grow your group.
Yes.
And they're going to be your marketing container.
Yes. That's the
goal. Okay. All right. Check Rachel off. I only have 2 words for you: focus and intention.
Okay.
Because I know that you're working on and through all of this stuff that you talked about. I see that you're consistent. So just focus and intention. And the thing about your process is that it's your process. So the fact that you know that you had to understand your process before you could describe it to anyone else is gold.
Thank you.
Is gold. So one of the things
it felt like shit, but yeah, I'm glad it looks like gold to you.
No, because a confused mind does not buy.
Right.
A confused mind will not buy. So if you can't clearly articulate exactly what you do, then how is anyone supposed to know whether they want to work with you? So the fact that you work through that,
message of everybody, because you were the last one in a line of 10 people are confused and they see wounds and I'm hiding and it just pissed me off and I'm like, what the hell? And she says, so I went to a counselor and I'm like, I think I have finally, let the people accusing me of being crazy. I said, I think I finally have done it. I'm crazy. And she goes, no, your fears are taking over. And I posted a few days ago, if it upsets you, it's because there's a piece of it that's true. Or you confirm the fear. People don't understand me because I confuse the hell out of them. And it's like, so she was like, well, argue back and say, well, I don't know how you're confused because it's very clear. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And she started asking questions. She's like, well, who are you? And I'm like, that's a complicated question. She goes, no, it's very, very simple. She goes, it's your I am statements. What is it that you tell yourself? And I'm like, I can't repeat that.
See, and if you can't repeat it to yourself, then you shouldn't be repeating it out in the marketplace, right?
Right.
Right.
Like she said, well, who else do you treat the way you treat yourself? Absolutely nobody. And I don't let anybody treat anybody else the way I was treating myself. And she says, well, that's why you're confusing people, because they hear you downgrading yourself and doubting yourself, but yet you're telling them to be confident because they're great. And it's like, well, how can they be great if they see you and they think you're good and you're telling yourself you suck? So she says, you're confusing because they're picking up you're confused.
The caveat to that is also this: you don't want to appear to be perfect and like someone who has all of their shit together. because that's a
No.
myth as well too.
Well, like she
Right? So
said,
you have
if
to
you're
have
having a bad
balance.
day, then it needs to be, you don't have to say everything. I just went to the, number 2 in the bathroom. Of course, that's oversharing, and nobody
Right.
cares about that.
Right. Right.
But really just looking at myself like I do for other people. She said, give yourself a good workover, and how are you going to step in and help me? And that was magical.
Yep.
And then when you start, and then of course, writing it down. My
Yeah.
health is taken over, and so I've stopped writing things because it's just, God help me if somebody ever saw what I wrote down, because my
I used to feel
shorthand
that
is
way.
just crazy.
Oh no, I
And
used
she
to
said,
feel that way because I was scared they'd see what I was really thinking.
right, well, that too. But it was powerful when you read it and you're like, oh my God, you can't talk to people like this,
Right.
And it's like, oh, I'm a people.
Yeah, you peoples too.
And it clicked. And then it's like, looking back, and then she said, ask your clients, because they're your family, because your family sucks. Go to your client, go where the people that do love you. Go to the people that are confused and say, okay, what is it that confused you? And when we did that, then it all just, and it's really funny because it's only taken 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's
I'm
because
pretty
you were
impressed with
ready though.
myself.
That's because you were ready. You walked into the vein and you were ready for the transformation. Had you not been ready, you'd still be fighting it. Like, what she mean? Hell, I got stuff I'm working through. And everybody need to know that I'm going through stuff, and I'm gonna work through this on all my community. Y'all gonna go through this with me together. However, I have been watching, and you have done. I'm gonna say you are doing well, because I was that person in your inbox. I be in your inboxes. I will come in your inbox. Like,
Yep.
I'm confused. So what are you trying to do? What do you want them to do?
Well, I think you rattled my cage because you are an empath and you do see things, and it's like, okay, KeeKee's gonna see that I'm like, just leave me the hell alone, because I don't even know what I want right now.
And I did say that. I'm like, so are you
were
really not
confused,
trying to
and
market?
you know me, and you couldn't go with what you saw
Right.
and pull me out of it. It was like, okay, and then it's kind of like, nobody's going to do the work for you. And if you're not caring, and if you're not calling out and saying, hey, KeeKee, I need help, and
Right.
I really don't know what the hell to do.
Right.
If I'm not giving you the rope, you're not going to pull me out.
No one knows. No one knows. So yay. Okay.
So,
Yeah. I got her.
And I have 2 new clients already because they saw what I was posting.
Where are my pom-poms? I usually have pom-poms.
I have them hanging on my wall in my office.
It's like, yay. Okay, so how are you ladies feeling?
Yeah.
Did you see us in the video, Amy? I was like, that was gold. I loved it. Yay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be hosting these. I know I said once a month, twice a month, but I think I'm going to do them once a month. I still want to do another one this month though. I'll let you know. What is today? I'm looking at my calendar.
Today's the 6th.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about the 20th, which is just before. Okay, I'm going to mark my calendar off for the 20th so that we can get another one of these in here. What else did I want to impress on you before I left you? Nothing but this. I want to leave you with this. You guys are really good at participating in the lab. I am going to go in there, and I'm probably going to send some messages to some people who I haven't seen post anything yet. And I understand when you get in like a group, you pretty much, I will fill it out before I post anything. But I think we're pretty freaking cool in there. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I think we're doing good shit, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, what I want to know, if you're not participating, to me, that means you don't need the lab. or you really need the lab and I really need to know what is going on in the background because I'm just nosy like that. Like,
well,
what?
there's a vibe going right now where people are not reaching out, but they're sitting there praying with everything in them, or, you know, begging the universe, send me somebody, but yet they're not saying. They'll post that they're okay, and then you call them for something and they're falling apart. And it's like, you know, what is it? So a good, you know, discovery question would help.
Well, I kind of can feel into what it is, I think. So what also is happening in the industry is because of COVID, people are afraid to market their businesses. They're afraid to be out there. But I'm sorry, I mean, if you turn on the television, Target hasn't stopped marketing, McDonald's hasn't stopped marketing, Popeyes is still marketing that damn chicken sandwich that I haven't had yet. I mean, I'm just saying, if you are a business, marketing is the tool that you use to bring in clients, period. Everyone is still marketing. So the fact that an entrepreneur believes that they shouldn't market in a time like this is the perfect time, because there are people at home now who have never been at home before. There are people on Facebook now who have my scroll, like my likes and the people who are commenting, like there are people that I just didn't even realize, like, oh, where you been? Just, oh, now you know, they put some of them put themselves on my radar. Right? So there are people out here.
People are so distracted, and it's almost like, especially when I'm goal oriented, and it's like, why am I going to post and try to market to get organized? Because these people are just, they've given up.
So those aren't the people that you're marketing to then. The people that have given up, those aren't the people that you're marketing to. You're marketing to the people who know their home and know this is the perfect time to organize. So you don't even think about the people who have given up. That's like me marketing to Chris. So you got to think about the people.
But in my news feed and in the groups, I'm not seeing anybody being they're not organizing. They're going through their cabinets, throwing everything away and calling the junk dealer instead of thinking about donations, because everything's not quick.
Well, that's marketing gold for you.
Right.
So your post should be about what to do instead of this.
Well, that's where the core value discussion came in. And it's like, well, why are they doing that? It's like you're problem solving and trying to take the client that's not your ideal and having the faith that they have what it takes to be your client.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I want you to stop that shit right now. Ain't nobody got time for that. The people that you are marketing to probably haven't even shown themselves yet. They are just watching.
Yeah.
They are literally just watching in the background. They're like in the peanut gallery. You don't even think about the only thing that you can glean from the people that you say are not into the organizing is to create content that makes them want to organize. And that content isn't even about them. It's about your ideal client. The ones who are going to see this and say, oh yeah, you know, I've been wondering what to do with all that shit.
Okay, well, that's kind of what I've gone to. So maybe I just said it wrong. But yeah I'm just focused on what I'm doing and putting it out there, like somebody that cares is going to read it, and staying in my lane and not trying to, it's not my job to convince you to work with me. I have what it is that you are talking about.
No, yes, it is your job.
It
is absolutely your job.
The offers, I've given the invitation.
Right.
And so I just have to keep doing that. And then the people that are meant for me are going to come.
Exactly. Okay. So that is what I want to leave you with. Go out there and market get your ask together. So marketing isn't just, okay, I'm trying to end this. I feel like a preacher today. You know, they always like, I got one more. But I do have one more though. Marketing.
Saying I'll be at the back of the room if anybody wants to see me.
Right.
Hit my inbox.
Marketing just isn't about posting what you do. Make sure when you market, there is some kind of call to action. always have a call to action. Even if that's telling them something to do with what you just educated them on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a call to action to give me a call, come work with me, buy my, it doesn't have to be any of that. It could be as simple as, if you feel this way, drop a gift below. Because it's the engagement that you want on your post. You want to have conversations with people. Likes and loves, that don't mean nothing to me. I want you commenting. I want to have a conversation with you in the comments. I want to get to know you.
Right.
So that's why you'll see me, I'll go back and forth in my comments, because that's where that, and that also increases your algorithm in Facebook. If there is engagement.
Some people look for that. And when you answer somebody else, I've gotten clients from my answer.
Exactly.
Well, you took the time to answer everybody. And so, yeah, the banter and the opportunity to give you each person something for, putting themselves out there.
Yeah, because we're building relationships, people.
Yeah.
Relationships aren't built on likes and loves and emojis. They are built on gifts, as far as I'm concerned, because I love a good gift. Oh my God, I love a good gift. I love giving them, and I love receiving them. So go out there and market and prosper in the marketplace. Okay, and I gave you an assignment. Don't think I forgot. 5 people, stalk and report. 5 people that you want to be, that are going to be, uh-oh, did you screenshot my hand? Don't be reading my hand, Mari. 5 people that you want to work with.
Hands is not, yeah.
And just take notes. Like, be a fly on the wall. Be a fly on the wall. And if you see something where you can comment and help them, be the help. Give them away.
Right.
All right?
All right.
All right, y'all.
Have a good day.
I'll see y'all around the interwebs.
Bye, thank you.
Yes.
Bye. Nice meeting
Bye,
y'all.
Autumn.
Good, simple girl.
Aw.
Bye, Autumn.
She's like, no.
She's got